Well, I want to thank all of you for taking time from what I know are very busy schedules and activities to spend some time with us today. I want to thank the Congresswoman for the invitation that she extended to me and for her continued advocacy on behalf of the farmers of South Dakota. I can assure you, I have heard from the Congresswoman on a number of occasions about the need for assistance and help. One of the reasons for my visit here today was to see firsthand the devastation that Mother Nature has played over the last several months, from a tough winter last year to an early spring that created flooding conditions, more water than you would ever hope to have, and today it continues. I want to assure you that we are sensitive and concerned about this, Congresswoman, and all who are here. Accompanying me on this trip today are two other individuals from the USDA, Bill Murphy, who's the RMA administrator in charge of the crop insurance program, and Jonathan Coppice, who's the FSA administrator. He is certainly interested in the disaster programs as well. A couple of things that I'll share with you, and then I want to get to questions. First, as you all know, Governor Rounds requested on September 14th that we designate a number of counties, including this one, as a disaster area for a secretarial designation. We are in the process of completing the evaluation of whether or not the counties in question meet the threshold required by Congress for that designation. And we anticipate and expect within the next 7 to 10 days to be able to make a decision on this. I think we're fairly confident today that a majority of the counties that the governor has requested will in fact qualify. And those that are contiguous to those counties will also qualify for the secretarial designation and therefore participation in the disaster programs that the Congresswoman identified. These disaster programs include the livestock indemnification program, which we already have rules and a sign-up has already begun. I would encourage those who experience losses to make sure that they fully understand and appreciate that program and make sure that they make application. The SURE program, which is a larger disaster program, which the Congresswoman was very instrumental in getting into the Farm Bill, it provides greater protection for a wide range of farming operations. And we expect and anticipate that the rules for that program will be completed soon so that we can have potentially a sign-up sometime in November of this year with payments for the 2008 losses hopefully made at the tail end of this calendar year. Obviously the 2009 losses will have to be calculated based on various averages, which will mean that will be several months down the road. So we are being attentive. We're trying to work as quickly as we possibly can to provide assistance. I think we're also, we should also say that we're acutely aware of the challenges that pork producers and dairy operators are suffering in this country. I have been to 22 different town hall meetings in 22 different states, from New Hampshire to Alaska and everywhere in between. And I can assure you that I've heard the stories, the challenges, and the stress. It's one of the reasons why we've taken some action on the dairy side to increase commodity purchases, to exercise our authority under the Export Assistance Program called DEEP, to encourage more exports of dairy products, while we encouraged an increase in the price support for several months to provide additional assistance, and we got the milk program payments out as Congress expected us to do. We are now working with members of Congress, including the Congressman, on additional assistance and help that Congress wants to identify in bills that are currently before the Congress, which hopefully will provide the USDA with direction to provide additional cash assistance to dairy farmers. And for those potentially in other areas where the cash assistance might not be available, additional commodity purchases that will help bolster those prices. We also appreciate the fact that this is just a temporary solution, and we really need to be much more focused on a longer-term solution in dairy to provide greater price stability. The boom and bust cycle we've experienced is something that's very difficult on producers, very hard to plan, and results in a lot of heartache. And I think we can look for better opportunities in the future to provide a more stable and secure price payment. We're also working very hard on the pork side, encourage our media friends to make sure that they designate the H1N1 properly. Every time they mischaracterize it, why there's a family farmer somewhere who gets hurt because of it. We have written letters, we've had press conferences, we've had opportunities to talk specifically and personally to members of the press about this. We'll continue to do that. We will be using our purchasing power as we have recently to try to purchase some of the surplus product that's out there. We're encouraging other sister agencies in the federal government, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice through their Corrections Department, which purchases a lot of food and commodities, to be able to exercise the opportunity to purchase more pork in their decision-making process. We'll continue to look for opportunities to also encourage trade. I will be traveling to China in a couple of weeks, and it's my hope that in discussions with the agricultural minister and others, we can press upon them our belief that what they're doing with our pork is not justified, not supported by science or rules or regulations, and it's outside the bounds of any trade agreement that we've entered into, or the WTO, in the hopes that they eliminate those barriers and allow for a free flow of our pork products back into the country. One final comment, because the most important thing, Congressman, in addition to thanking Jim and Barb for letting us use their facility and thanking folks for the beautiful blankets, is to really hear from you all. So I just want to make one other comment. We understand and appreciate, in addition to the difficulties that are being experienced on farmsteads and ranches across the country, there's a lot of hurt and pain throughout the country. The economy obviously has weakened, and we're in the process of trying to invest resources to try to strengthen and bolster it. The Recovery and Reinvestment Act, which the Congressman was supportive of, had basically three basic reasons. First and foremost, we wanted to help people transition from tough times to better times. It's one of the reasons why there was tax relief for the majority of working families. Unemployment compensation was extended for those who lost their jobs. And within USDA, we did a good job of trying to get resources out and expanding food assistance to families under the SNAP program. Some may ask why or how that stimulates the economy in addition to helping families. Well, when you provide SNAP benefits and you provide a family of four $80 more to spend in the grocery store, they actually spend it. 97% of those SNAP dollars are spent in the first 30 days of receipt. And you figure when more is purchased at the grocery store, that means more has to be stocked. That's a job. More that's stocked at the grocery store, someone's got to truck it to the grocery store. That's a job. Someone who's trucking it has to get it from someone who's been processing it and canning it. That's a job. And if more is canned and processed, it means more is being purchased from farms and ranches across the country, and that's opportunity for farmers. So it is an immediate stimulus. Every dollar we invest in that program generates about $1.84 in economic recovery and assistance. The second purpose of the Recovery and Reinvestment Act was to address infrastructure needs. And certainly as a result of the rains, you all will appreciate and understand the need for investments in infrastructure. But this is true throughout the country. Roads, dams, bridges, water treatment facilities are in significant need of investment. And so the Recovery and Reinvestment Act gave various departments of government resources to invest in infrastructure. In our particular department, we've spent a good deal of time and continue to do so on encouraging better water and wastewater treatment facilities in small communities. We also help to build community facilities, and we are investing in business and industry development in rural America. The third and final purpose of the Recovery and Reinvestment Act was to build a 21st century competitive American economy, one that would put us in a position where we could once again be the leader in innovation. One of the ways we will do that is through the energy, through new energy sources. The Congressman identified properly the need for us to increase the blend rate, which we are advocating for, and to look for new and creative ways to produce more renewable energy and power here in America, to end our reliance on foreign oil, and to become far more independent than we have been, creating jobs here in America. It's also about extending broadband, the ability to take this technology that will allow folks to be linked to global markets, to not just urban centers, not just suburban areas, but every rural, remote area of this country, so that everyone is able to compete on a level playing field for opportunity. In the state of South Dakota, over $1 billion has already been invested as a result of the Recovery and Reinvestment Act and obligated. And we are in the process, obviously, of continuing to obligate more resources. One of the things I'm proud of is that in response to the Congresswoman's request, as well as your Senator's request and your government, we are also investing in your force. There are 5 different forest service projects that invested over $5 million. And part of that is an opportunity to better maintain our force. So there is a lot of activity, a lot of work taking place on a lot of different fronts. But I'm interested in obviously trying to respond to as many questions as we can in the time that remains today. So again, I appreciate you giving us this opportunity. So thank you all.